Well, welcome guys, thanks for checking out this video. So recently I've just come across this picture of this new up and coming handheld, and if you look at it, it does resemble much like the beloved and much well received Retroid Pocket. Now that really did spark my interest because the Retroid Pocket has been a pretty awesome handheld. I don't normally do videos about Chinese, like cheap handheld stuff, but there have been two awesome handheld products from China themselves, and that is the Anbernic and the Retroid Pocket 2. There's a lot of these handhelds out there in China, so it is very much test and trial, but these two products have been well received and there's been awesome support for these systems. Now I actually own a Retroid Pocket 2 and I've covered a lot of content regarding that, and I'm pretty excited that I own one of them. But there's a lot of fiddling, and I also cover some videos on how to update yourself. But if you're new to this channel, I'm Jay from rightsprite.co.uk, and I do cover more content regarding, like older consoles and how to get better features out of the systems, also hacks and tips. So in this one, we're going to jump into what is called the KTR1 High Performance AMOLED 7, the KTR1 High Performance AMOLED, the KTR1. Yeah, let's just stay with that name for now. Now this model is actually standing out because of actually the specifications that is actually delivering, and also is scratching those itches that is needed from the Anbernic and the Retroid Pocket 2. Now it does look like the Retroid Pocket itself, but is kind of not, but I'll explain a bit more later on in the video. So let's go ahead now and look at some specifications that this new handheld is actually given to us. It is packing a 1.8 gigahertz processor, which is pretty awesome because the Retroid Pocket 2 and the Anbernic is packing a 1.5, so with a more powerful processor you can actually get more emulators working with this unit. And then also it has a more system memory. Now that is probably the biggest thing that we're kind of looking forward to, with 2 gigabytes or even a 4 gigabyte RAM upgrade. I think that's pretty sweet. So I think they're going to do two models, a 2 gigabyte and a 4 gigabyte RAM. Now the actual Retroid Pocket 2 and the Anbernic does emulate up to PlayStation 1 pretty fine, and the user interface, when you actually tweaked it, it is running pretty sweet. So it might be a bit overkill, but with more RAM you can get more emulators running with this system. And one thing that is pretty awesome with this, it has a touchscreen, a 4-inch touchscreen, and is staying at the 4.3 ratio. So that is what you need for your Mega Drive games and your SNES, but it does have a higher resolution, so that is pretty sweet. So we get more clarity with the games itself. But to be honest, the Retroid Pocket 2 with the 4x3 480p resolution with the IPS screen is pretty stunning. So I'm pretty still happy with the Retroid, but with all these specs so far, it is pretty welcoming. It also does have a HDMI port output, and hopefully we may be able to get more resolution out of that, because the Retroid and the Anbernic is only getting a 480p, but with a higher resolution it will actually look better on your HD screens. It's packing a 3.5 audio jack, so you can chuck your headphones in. That's nothing new, but now we've actually got a better Wi-Fi actual chip in there, so it's on Wi-Fi 5. Now the Retroid Pocket 2 does have a lower Wi-Fi, and you can stream games on that from actual Steam app from your PC, and that is pretty good. But with a better Wi-Fi you may be able to get more apps running and streaming more content to your portable device. So it is packing up with Bluetooth again, and one big thing that is very welcoming, especially if you own a Retroid Pocket 2, is the fact that you get L3 and R3 buttons, so you can actually map them to more further like menu interface buttons. So that is pretty awesome. One thing that is pretty big, and one big game changer as well to this unit, is it has a vibration motor. So with PlayStation 1 games that have vibration, I'm not sure really know how it's going to play out, but it is packing a battery that is the same as a Retroid Pocket, and I'm really impressed with the battery life on this system. You're getting about 5 hours gameplay, 5 hours to 6 say, with a 2-hour charge, and on standby I've had it on for about 2 to 3 days, but now with the vibration I'm sure it's going to drain pretty quickly. It's got a nice USB-C fast charger, so that is pretty sick, and the dimensions are given and the weight is to be announced. Also running the Android 9.0 version, so that is pretty sweet, because with the Retroid Pocket we're stuck with the 6.0 at the moment, and because it has that extra processor and extra RAM, we will be able to get more PSP support and perhaps even more compatibility with Dreamcast games and also N64, so that is pretty sweet. There's also some tasty looking variants on these beta builds at the moment. I'm really pressed on the design already in these early stages. it does resemble a lot like the Retroid Pocket 2, and there's been stated in someone that's actually got their hands on them on this blog I've come across, saying that it does feel like a Retroid Pocket. So it is kind of a bit of a copy and paste, but giving those specs and those little features that we actually need. So the one thing that does kind of scare me, because it is one guy that's built this pretty awesome design and has got some awesome specs, and something that a lot of people will be kind of asking, and I don't think you'd be able to meet that demand. But one thing, just kind of a pipe dream, imagine if he actually merged with Retroid Pocket 2, because Retroid Pocket had their own dedicated website and do have great communication with their customer service base, and they do have some warranty on their actual consoles, unlike basically what you get with every other Chinese product. So imagine if they actually merged together, try and meet the demand and the specs that people have been asking for. So this is something I'm looking forward to in 2021. It kind of looks like a Retroid Pocket 2, it's got the same software, and it kind of apparently feels like a Retroid Pocket as well. So it's not, but it kind of is, but it's not made by the same guy. But imagine if those two teams actually got together to try and meet the demand that is everyone's been asking for. Now, all the best to this guy and this handheld. If I'm lucky enough, I may be able to get one on myself and do a full review for you guys on this up and coming new handheld. So let you know your comments about this up and coming device in the comment box below. And as always, if you like this video, hit that button. If you want to support this channel, click subscribe, leave your comments below, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.